Good morning from Sacred Space at Titania's Realm. It's 9:46 a.m. on the 21st of July 2024. The current temperature, according to my laptop, is 16 degrees Celsius, which is quite cool. It's a beautiful sunny day outside and it's windy. We've got, as I said a few days ago, early westerly winds that usually arrive sometime around the second week of August, usually when they have a big exhibition on of all the farm animals and farming practices. They call it the Eka, is when the August winds coincide, and everyone in Brisbane goes to that and gets the flu. They also exhibit beautiful handicrafts and all the baby chickens of all the varying breeds and all the little ducks and all the cows, and it's actually quite wonderful. But I stopped going because I don't like crowds, I don't like cold, and I don't like the flu. So if you want to get natural immunity, go to the Eka, people. But don't worry, it won't be the bird flu they're promoting and killing all our chickens with, the fucking idiots. Honestly, our governments, they're just so idiotic. It's astonishing. But anyway, it's getting harder and harder to get cooked chickens in the supermarkets, by the way. It's just a very subliminal way of starving us out. That's what they're doing. They're starving us out. But on a happy note, I'm alive today, and Charlie's alive. We can tell because she's shitting rather avidly, or avariedly. Never mind. I lost what I was trying to achieve there. She doesn't live in an aviary anyway, do you, Charlie? She's got an outdoor prison like Mama T. She gets to sit in the garden with all the wild birds. Sometimes she likes the wild birds, sometimes she doesn't. Most of the time she doesn't like them at all, but yet here we are. So I've got to quickly navigate to our readings of even date. I forgot to navigate to it. Eek. So it's going to be one of those journal entries where I struggle with technology and swear a lot and you wonder what on earth is going on. But never mind, we will get there in the end. So yes, the early August winds and the Eka, which will be coming in August next month, isn't it? My goodness, I've just realised today is the 21st of July. We're already 3 weeks into July, and I remember only 3 weeks ago being astonished that we were in the first day of July. So time is flying epically fast, and I'm a bit astonished. I started the CPAP machine device, mask and snorkeling machine device, on the evening of the 4th of July. So what does that make it? 17 days. We're into the 17th day. And I must say, my skin, I'm looking a bit more puffier and less dehydrated and wrinkled. I mean, the wrinkles are still there, but I'm looking less frickin' evacuated out of my own body, mind and spirit. And I had a good sleep last night. I had an astonishingly good sleep. And I've still got a bit of congestion in the chest and the nose, still a bit stuffed up, had to blow my nose before. But yesterday it was better than it has been, much better. Yesterday was day 16. So yes, it's taken me a while to adjust, and my lungs are still not terribly thrilled with being held open all night against their will. And my lungs are still punching out quite a bit of congestion, but it's better than it was. So I'm hoping after another week or maybe even 2, because I'm a slow self-healer, people. I take longer to heal than other people. I don't know why that is. I used to be a very quick healer when I was younger. I could heal a cut or a scratch within about 3 days. It would be gone. But my lungs have been ragged and struggling for so many decades that I think they'll take a little bit longer to respond to treatment. But I might be wrong, because I can already see an improvement with less congestion, less urge to cough constantly. So that's a positive sign that I'm on the mend. Oh, and the other positive sign is I didn't have to get up to pee last night, and I slept for 11 hours. So that's just mind-blowingly good, given the night before I only had 4 hours sleep after my wild dance. I danced myself into like adrenaline extremis, so that's why I didn't sleep as much. But even then, I didn't get an interrupted sleep in that 4 hours. And last night, 11 hours without getting up to pee. If my bladder can settle down to some kind of normal behaviours, I will get healthy again. And if I get healthy again, I can achieve great things. I don't know what the great things are, but I could achieve them. It will become in the realms of possibility rather than impossibility, because have been struggling for so very, very long. And here we are. I've navigated, I've chewed the fat while we navigated, so you didn't feel like your time's been wasted. And here we are. Memories, 21st of July 2024. Molochian monsters and taro tubers. Bathos amidst the histrionics, the unrequited psychedelic dream continues. Not to worry. I posted a photo of a taro leaf with all the glistening rain or dew all over it. So there you have it, babies. Oh, wow. Here I write, and I don't know why, but it's gone under 2023 and it should have been under 2024, so I have to quickly adapt that. Yes, better. Here I write, What happened? Sorry, just did a little blippity flippity gibbet, and I can't blame Charlie because she's on top of the laptop. You didn't touch anything, Charlie, it wasn't you. 8:38 a.m. this morning. I woke up at 7:21 a.m. I slept for 11 hours, no pee break until I woke up. This is huge progress. To sleep that long without interruptions. Oh my God. Or goddess, or that energy that runs the multiverses that seems to be blessing me lately in rather astonishing and unusual ways too, but it is what it is. I have stayed in bed resting a bit longer. Time to get up. Grateful for a good solid sleep, as I only had 4 hours the previous night. Dancing wildly had energized me, I suppose. So what shall I do with my Sunday? No idea, but I will wrest enjoyment out of my day as I strive to do every day. Live fully and vibrantly. Amen to that, sister. It's such a lovely sunny day. I feel like going to a beach and just walking along the beach again like I did last Monday with Jared. And but the wind is cold, and I don't want to be sucking in cold wind into my lungs that are still a bit kind of kind of a bit grumbly and fragile and, you know, what have you. 21st of July 2022. Trigger warning, psychic attacks and trauma processing. Oh God, it's going to be one of those readings. But never mind, I get something out of it. I get to revisit some things and see how far I've come and see patterns sometimes be repeated. And I always get something out of reading through my journals. And some of you seem to get something out of it too, judging by the amount of likes. So here we go, babies. Let's kick the Casbah. Let's continue on with our life experiences in the event it helps someone, including my own silly self at times. Not so silly after all. Right, I need a tissue because phlegm is rising. Not pleasant. That's the only thing. I don't know how long that's going to go on for. This constant gooping up of my lungs because of the CPAP. Hopefully that settles down soon. Please God. Anyway, at least I'm not waking up in terrible pain. In 2003, when I trialled it for 10 months, I would wake up with terrible, terrible pain in my diaphragm, like I'd been kicked by a horse, and it would last until about 2 or 3 in the afternoon. Then the pain would subside, and I'd feel like normal again. And then I'd go to bed at night and the whole thing would repeat. And this went on for months. I couldn't take it anymore. And I'd wake up all swollen in the face. I'm not too swollen, thankfully. And I'd be all dry mouth and like I'm a bit dry. The back of my throat's a bit dry. But in the old days, from it must have been too much pressure. And they did adjust it, but my body still presented it. I would have a constantly dry, sore throat, and I'd even talk raspy. It was awful. That's why I arced up so much about having it again. I didn't want to go through that again. But, once this nasal and upper respiratory congestion subsides, I'm praying that it does, I'll be back in the room, babies, in more ways than one. It's going to be a bit astonishing. Anyway, here we are in 2022, 2 years ago. 11:30 a.m. I'm having lots of nightmares or uneasy dreams about former love interests and partners. Specifically, all the emotional abuse and sadistic nasty things they've said to me over the years. It got so bad at one point that I wanted to die. But why should I offer up my beauty, my courage, my intellect, my very soul as a sacrifice to Molochian type monsters that verily, verily, the best or only thing they had to offer me was their penis? For fuck's sake. The last lover that I've had some sort of weird-ass deep love for, which in psychological terms could almost be called a trauma bond, but it's worse than that. It's spiritual. Well, he pops up on my periphery in unexpected places in space, like a ghost, except he's a man, although in truth incapable of treating me with honour or basic respect, more like a naughty, malfeasant, mischievous teenage boy. Maybe he is a zombie ghost man. Nothing left inside his heart and mind and soul as his resident demon ate everything away, leaving him a vapoured husk. But I know He still has a strong attachment to me on a psychic level. I have been feeling him intensely for weeks, which means he is planning to interface with me in the physical world. That is what usually happens. He appeared in the darkness at a crossroads last time on the 8th of July 2022, which was weird because it was almost exactly a year after Sock's death, which was the last time we'd spoken. I'd rung him seeking comfort, I suppose, or someone I don't even know why I rang him, to be honest. But we had chatted amicably for about 45 minutes. And that was the last time I rang him because I realised, although it was amicable and we chatted, it's never going to develop into anything or go anywhere, and I'm just wasting my own psychic space and energy. So a year later, on the 8th of July 2022, which I found quite astonishing, to be honest. When I was driving to the casino, he was on a bicycle. The time was 10:19 p.m. waiting at the intersection at down past the Coorparoo station, where you turn. There's a big kind of crossroads, and you turn left to drive on to go into the city to the casino. And I just saw him tucked away to the left, and I actually thought I was imagining it, to be honest. Oh, Tanya, you've gone mad. I had to look several times, glance over before I realised I wasn't mad at all. It was actually him standing there. Anyway, he was on a bicycle. Actually, he wasn't on his bicycle. He was standing beside his bicycle, and he was wearing a pale blue helmet, bike helmet, waiting at the intersection, and I was stuck at a red light. This is how we keep running into each other. Like last year on the 13th of December, it was over right next to the Mount Gravatt Cemetery, which I find very, very telling indeed, since I invoked the protection of Papa Legba. And anyway, I was stuck at a red light, looking fabulous, darling, all sparkly with my glitter eyeshadow and dressed to enchant as I was off dancing. I sensed someone staring at me. I was actually talking to my spirit guide, who had randomly stated his name in a perfunctory manner. Just as I'm driving, just out loud said his name, and I'm like, oh, stop throwing that man in my face. I'm so sick of that man. So I was kind of yelling at that entity to stop mentioning his name, as I'm sick of hearing it or thinking about him. And after over 8 years, it just goes nowhere. Truth. Absolutely no fucking where. And he was malevolent too, so it's good it went nowhere. Praise the gods, the angels, the ancestors that love me. All that is, was, and ever shall be, that I was protected from that idiot. He really was quite idiotic too. Who stalks a woman for years that you've got no real interest in? It's not even logical. Bored rich people. That's all I have to say about that. So you can imagine my shock when I sense this intense stare to see a man on his bike with a pale blue bicycle helmet, staring at me. And as I stared back, he quickly jerked his head to the left to pretend he was not looking at me, which is how I knew it was him. The particular mannerism he has of jerking his head around. Probably did too many drugs in his youth. He's got that bird-like jerking mannerism of someone who's done a lot of speed or methamphetamine, by the way. Should have known better from the very beginning. But anyway. But honestly, I must have looked fabulous, but like a crazy person, muttering to myself at the spirit to stop throwing him in my face. And then, hey presto, there he was. Well, I'm fairly sure it was him. It's hard to be absolutely certain, as I could not see his dreads. It might have been just another random, skinny, lost boy staring at my goddess-like awesomeness, wondering if I was singing to music in my car or had gone stark raving mad. But alas, no. My spirits tease and taunt me, but I am not insane just yet. I have a contract with the gods that involves him coming to me in perfect alignment. So the fact he is perfectly aligned at a crossroads in the past year, whenever I see him, is a tad bemusing. Be careful what you ask for. They literally have him perfectly aligned, but not bringing him back into my life or my sphere of influence or into my heart space, because they know he was damaging and I was in denial about it for a very long time, unfortunately, which is why it was spiritual. Something fucking weird between that one and I tell you that much. Crossroads. Ye shall not pass until ye have shown yourself worthy of my love and light, or at least polite, polity and modesty and genuine high regard. No more disparaging my vagina or my personhood, or trawling veritable sluts to harass me. To be fair, he quit doing that. That is some small progress. Ha ha ha. Okay, maybe the women were decent women, but stalking ex-lovers of one's current squeeze is a significantly sluttish thing to do. So, no, I changed my mind. They are callow, worthless sluts with no respect for themselves or the sisterhood. But I must ask myself, what is it about this idiotic man that I refuse to give up on? It's not like we were ever partners or involved in a deep, loving relationship. What is it with this strange love? Dr. Strange Love. Even my psychiatrist is mystified by this odd attachment. Here we go with that window appearing again. Dear Goddess, it's gone, thank goodness. And yes, I know how I have a mixed style of attachment due to decades of trauma. By that, by a mixed style means I have an anxious, how did it explain it? Anxious, avoidant kind of style. That sometimes I can be like, come across as too needy and kind of a bit pathetic, I suppose. And other times I'm just like, fuck off, don't ever come near me, stay the fuck away. But I'll move in and out of it because I'm actually seeking a safe, secure attachment with someone. And what did I keep attracting? Men who were approach avoidant and sick and twisted and awful. So it made me, it would aggravate my inbuilt CPTSD issues and anxiety, and then I'd kind of go into the state of literally dancing as fast as I can, pedaling on my feet like the Roadrunner in the cartoon, trying to escape the coyote, Wile E. Coyote, am I right? Spinning on a dime, trying to validate myself and prove my worth, that I was worthy of these fucking Malachian gimps' love. Well, I won't be doing that ever again. I have nothing to prove, people of Earth. You either love me, or you hate me, or you're apathetic and indifferent, which is probably the better way to be than actually hate me, and just fuck the hell off out of my life and move on. Don't create drama and chaos. Just move the fuck on and leave me alone. Quite happy with that. I'm avoidant. I don't need any more shit shows or horror shows, by the way. I've had decades of them. So that's probably why I'm enjoying the sweetness from my friends in the band. One who makes a few romantic little overtures, because he's actually a sweetheart. And I know he's not available, and he's just probably stirring me up a little bit, to be honest. He probably thinks, as a man does, I'll stir her up and she'll be all excited and, just tease me along, and it's not genuine anyway. So I know that. I'm not stupid. I've done this dance before many times. So I know when someone's just being sweet and being a bit kind and stir me up a bit, because they actually, they are a friend and they want to see me happy. But by the same token, they don't want to see me happy with someone else either. So anyway, things will fall into their natural rhythms and parameters and spaces, and a man who genuinely loves me and wants to be with me will date me, treat me with honour and integrity, follow through, won't play games, and he'll make sure he's available for me. And you can't do that. You can't impede on someone's lifestyle and free will. If you really love someone, as I say I do, I'm not impeding on that. Just dancing my dance, living my best life, going home alone as per usual. And occasionally it grinds my gears, because when you desire someone and you love someone and you want to be with them, it is a source of pain that the circumstances mean that you can't be with them. And, but honestly, I'm not upset about it per se. It's my angels protecting me, making sure that only the man who loves me truly and heart-centeredly and wholesomely and protectively and kindly and honouringly, respectfully, who is ready, willing and able to be a wonderful, loving, passionate, romantic partner to me, only that man shall be allowed to, will I invite into my life, because I'm done. I'm done with monsters. Absolutely done with them. But, I'm fond of this person and they're fond of me, and it's quite lovely. But I know when I'm being teased, and I tease back sometimes too, because it's only fair, True love goes both ways. Crisscross, babies. Anyway, I don't know what I'm talking. I'm talking nonsense, since nothing is manifested in real world. It's nonsensical. And anyway, I have nothing to offer. No money, no home of my own. No real family to speak of, because I've been abandoned. And, like, fuck. Like, who would want to take me on? It's insane. So I know that it's insane, actually. But yet, on this, by the same token, hearts, hope springs eternal, and I still go dancing because it's good for me. It's good for my health. It's good for my body. It energizes me. It opens me up creatively too. Opens up all my meridians. It's good for me, and I'm not out there doing any harm to anyone. I'm just dancing, going home alone. So I will continue to do that for as long as my body will allow it. And hopefully when I do find a loving partner who chooses to be with me for the long term, not just for a quick roll in the hay and, blow and go and hey-ho and idly-o neighbour, yuck. It's just why I'm avoiding any of those kind of situations, quite deliberately avoiding them. But if I find someone that really is deeply, truly in love with me, hopefully he'll still let me, not that I need a man's permission, but hopefully he won't mind me still dancing once a week, having fun with my bands and living my normal lifestyle, because it's important to me that I can continue on with my dance. And who knows, maybe it might even be one day, someone who's a musician, so I can be out dancing for them. But going home with them at the end of the night, because they're my man, not someone else's man. Because, it's just not cricket, is it? It's not cricket. But the gods do what they do to me, and it's not cricket. It's not always fair, but they have a higher purpose in mind for me sometimes, and I just have to accept it too. And don't have to like it, but I just have to accept that that's the way it is for me. Babies always kind of held at arm's length and kept like some kind of iconoclast or icon, just kept safe but not quite brought into their world. And real loves choose you every day and every night, by the way, and communicate with you directly, not using messengers and other people. It's cute, but it's a game. It's a game. And the only way to win a game is not to play. So I'm just putting it out there. Mama T's well aware of the little games being played. They're not harmful. They're not harmful, but they could escalate. They could escalate into something harmful. I'm very conscious of all of that. So here I continue writing. I know I am expansive in your face, as in you'll always get the truth and it will come directly from me, not from other third-party, entities. You want to know something? You ask me and I'll tell you. Or you'll get it through my videos, which I guess is kind of, in a weird way, a kind of a third-party way of gathering information. But, it's the internet and it's our world where people are too incapable of communicating directly and interfacing directly, because we're used to sliding third base and doing things in this circular, angular, weird kind of way. Anyway, I'm not angry about it or upset in any way. I'm just observing how things are playing out and evolving around me. It's a tad odd. It's a tad odd. But anyway, like an armadillo. Oh, that really hurt. Twisted my sciatica. Like an armadillo curling into an impenetrable ball, but internally berserk. Please love me. Please love me. I'm not doing that anymore either. Got over that. I don't give a fuck anymore if anyone loves me or not. As long as you're genuinely showing me consistent decency and kindness and integrity and affection, I'm happy with that much. But I'm not going to beg any man, woman or child to love me. Ever, ever, ever. Only to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous romantic or sexual malfeasances of the kind that sends women to madness or to war. Forget the face that launched 1,000 ships, Helen of Troy. I am the Tanya of the brutalized and embattled, of Brisbane infamy, and I will have my truest, deepest love without the bullshit games and insidious, invidious debauchery. P.S. I need a hug and $20 million. But today is a beautiful day in spite of the rain. My cleaning lady just left, so my house is clean. Must have been a Thursday. I have dutifully ironed silk scraps from my rotted out sari. I'm clutching to the remnants of my love and my hope and my ever swirling dreams in an actual fucking apocalypse while singing my solipsistic, sarcastic calypso blues and trying not to die from my chronic bronchitis and my own epic fucking cynicism. My circumspection that circumscribed my own spirit and ultimately just makes me laugh. It's all absurdist, but I am the queen of my own absurdist, finely wrought and delicately passed out, unravelled, psychedelic dreaming. It's for the gods to decide what my fate shall be. True love or bust. Perhaps not so much bust. Maybe just finding that medium point field I keep talking about, that everything's in field, the field of dreams where I neither care one way or the other if someone's in my life and I'm just immersed in moving through my own life one day at a time, 1 week at a time, 1 month at a time. Years have flown by, 59 years, 29 and a half alone. And it hasn't been all that bad in the broad scheme of things, apart from a few catastrophic events that nearly killed me. But, you know, time has passed and flowed like a river under the bridge, never touching the same stones twice. And I've moved through it all with grace and aplomb and occasional berserker tirades, but mostly with grace and aplomb. And time has passed, and I don't need to bust. I've been busted enough anyway. Just true love or equanimity, moving through life with gentleness and wisdom and grace. I think that's probably very likely going to be my continuing path on this planet if my health improves. You know, I've never been permitted to have a true love before. It could happen one day, but it's never been permitted by the gods before. Always sabotaged or stymied or blocked or prevented or held back or pushed back or kicked back to the curb, no matter how hard I tried. So the answer, my friend, is don't try, just be, and let the one who really loves me show up, keep up, communicate directly, demonstrate he's the one. I don't even know what that would be like because I, again, never really experienced that before. So it's a strange, I have a very strange life and a strange existence compared to most other mortals, humans. Oh, still in 2022. Oh, and I feel like I am stuck in a hell loop. Writing my truth whilst plying my troth with the gods and a certain avoidant trickster spirit dressed as a 15-year-old boy, trapped in his own inability to love me as a man needs to love a woman, honourably, kindly, gently, tenderly, faithfully. In the meantime, my quest continues. Climb every mountain while surfing every moribund avalanche. And sometimes, you may just get the love you most desired and genuinely needed. The big love denied you all your life by vicious enemies and bloodless curs and NPCs devoid of heart, guts and soul. The lights are on, but no one's home. Yet I kept attracting them like moths to the flame. What the fuck does that say about me? I must put out quite a soul signature, even from inside my short, fat hobbit body and my mindful predilections to love too much that had to be internalized to grow me back. What, Charlie? That last lover still has much to teach me. How to love myself enough that I never attract such a sadomasochist ever again. But let's face it, it's my speciality. Maybe it's not a curse, but a gift that only I excel at. Survival, isolation, and my weaving of my ravaged heart back into an art form that is both seen and heard and takes the breath away, including my own breath. I have been rescuing and recycling scraps of existence since early childhood. No wonder I get tired and turn my face to the wall from time to time. But the gods, spirits, ancestors that love me won't let me die. And I eagerly await my contract to be fulfilled in this lifetime. It's a kindness and a promise that I can see is slowly unfurling for me. Trust I must in my angels. And yeah, if you see me yelling in my car, just nod politely and assume I am singing. And I will add to that in 2022, I had only recently, in the previous 2 years, started actually hearing spirits. I was told 30 years ago to take the cotton wool out of my ears by a psychic medium. And she said, you can hear spirits. Why aren't you listening? Why aren't you listening? Take the cotton wool out of your ear. But I literally could not hear them until my cousin's Maori spirits ancestors, her great-grandparents, started speaking to me in ancient Maori. And Charlie's room back in 2020 was the first time I'm hearing voices. Have I gone mad? I actually feared that I'd gone mad, to be honest. And it wasn't until I contacted my cousin and said, I'm hearing these words and they sound like Maori, and I've written them down sort of phonetically, and, are these real words, or have I gone mad, Megan? She said, no, I know exactly who they are. They're my great-grandparents. And we both freaked out, actually, both her and I. The messages they gave me weren't exactly anything all that profound, but however, it was real and authentic, and I wasn't imagining it. So hearing that spirit as I was driving, just not far from that intersection, that crossroads, say his name. I'm not even going to say its name because it's just a fucking demonic imp, quite frankly. I'm not going to empower it beyond regaling the story again. But when they said his name out loud, I was literally yelling back, going, can you just knock it off? Like, stop tormenting me with that man. He's not even in my life. Like, just leave it the fuck alone. And then drive a little bit further on, stop at the red light, and there he is. So that was actually validation for me that my spirit person, guide, whoever that entity was actually not just poking me a little bit, but telling the truth, that I was going to see that person. I think that was actually probably the most potent message of all that evening, was reminding me that my spirit people are not teasing or tormenting or lying anymore. So when they tell me things, sometimes in unusual circumstances like that, I now sit up and take notice. Whereas for decades I'd be like, oh yeah, just go away with ya. You're just liars and tricksters and game players. And because I had it a lot. I had it a lot when I was involved with David Davidson back in 98 to 2001. Spirits constantly teasing and lying, and that was an evil fucking spiritual relationship too. That was just completely fucking evil. Worse even than this last lover that I've been speaking about. So you can imagine why I'm driving in the car yelling at some spirit to fuck off and leave me alone and stop with their nonsense. And then it slammed me in the face because the person they mentioned was standing right there. So anyway, what happened was I carried on and drove to the casino and danced wildly all night and had a fabulous time, and that person didn't impact on my evening at all. I just carried on going about my normal practice, which is to dance and have a wonderful time and, be amongst the few people that at least admired me or enjoyed my company or loved me in some level. And the rest could slough the fuck off, literally. I knew she was going to do that, but I was too early. She's doing really, really chunky poos lately. What the hell? I know, Charlie. You got a busy cloaca. I know. A busy birdie. Look, it's everywhere. It's all over the screen. Oh my goodness. Oh, dear goddess. Little chunky, solid little lumpy things. Anyway. I carry on still writing on the 21st of July 2022. Yes, Bobo's in Valhalla, darling. 11:57 p.m. I just finished cutting all the sari shapes up, then sorting them into piles and ironing them. I still need to put them away. and pack up the ironing board and iron, but felt weak and dizzy and exhausted. I will need to clear it all away in the morning. I have been busy doing random jobs today. This morning I ironed some handmade paper that had been lying around for several months, that I'd made actually. I cut it up and stored it away. Later on, I made another ring. Then this evening, I'm sighing because I'm thirsty, but I've had 2 cups of tea and I don't dare have any more tea. It's enough now. Then this evening I got stuck into cutting up the sari, which has also laid around for a while. I have 4 boxes of fabric that Robin gave me to try to find a place to stash. I will try to do that tomorrow. Lynn visited me today and spoiled me with yummy food and cake and even treats for Charlie and Bobo. We had a lovely time chatting. Bobo squealed with happiness when she arrived. I had told him she was coming, so he ran out to look for every car door he heard and worked himself into a tizzy with excitement. Sweet boy. Oh God, I miss him. I think he gets quite lonely living with me, as nothing much happens apart from our usual short walk each day. I bought the dye to refresh my faded pink cardigan, which this actually used to be my mother's cardigan, so it's over 60 years old. Hot fuchsia. I figure a brighter colour might cover up some of the stains. Exciting. I have never dyed a woolen cardigan before. I am becoming quite a versatile little domestic goddess, although it did get a bit of shrinkage, alas, but anyway. I look forward to seeing the results in the near future. In fact, hopefully, if it dyes well, I will be tickled in pink. Indeed I am. I love this cardigan. It's ancient, and I didn't have any more fuchsia wool, so I just did try to secure the buttonholes with purple wool, and I've got a purple patch on there. And as it slowly unravels like my own psychedelic dreaming, I'm just, patching it up and keeping it alive for a bit longer. It's become a metaphor for my own life in a way. It's a bit weird and astonishing, but it is what it is. I look forward to seeing the results in the near future. In fact, hopefully, if it dyes well, I will be tickled in pink. Plus, it will look lovely with my purple coat and purple top hat. Oh, that was cute, actually. I forgot to mention when I went to the Brooklyn Standard on Friday, one of the bartenders, Rose, she's a beautiful young woman. She waved hello to me and she said to me, "Where's your top hat?" I said, "I didn't bring it tonight, darling." She said, "But you've been wearing it regularly." I said, "Yeah, I didn't feel like wearing it tonight." She says, "I wish you would." She goes, "I love that hat." And I said, "Yeah, well, the hat's developing a personality of its very own. It had to stay home tonight and behave." And even she had to laugh. But yes, I said, "Perhaps I'll wear it for you next week." She said, "Oh, please do. Isn't she gorgeous?" Oh, they're all encouraging me in my eccentricities. It's very gorgeous. Thank you, Rose. You gorgeous girl. I'm getting very frustrated. This is back in 2022. I'm getting very frustrated with myself. I attempted soldering a ring together for about the 12th time. It simply won't flow. I have tried everything. I wonder what I am doing wrong. I guess I will have to keep trying though, until one day I fluke it or it just works. Gah. I watched another video on sweat soldering, so tried that method. No dice. The two components of the ring are in the pickle cleaning up. Maybe it will never work as I've burnt it too many times. Maybe I should just give up on my dreams of becoming a jeweler. What else do I fail at every single day of my life? Love, breathing properly, soldering. Well, I have been breathing badly for 57 years, try 59 years. So there is that. I am immersed in such enormous love from genuine caring friends and my pets and one daughter, even if I see little of her. I have the love of the gods that love me when I beat my breast about failing at being a successful human. Soldering is a skill that can be learned given the right conditions are met indeed. And when it happens almost as if by magic, very, very easily and quickly, when the right conditions are met. Guess that applies to love too. Not too easy and not too quick though. We don't want to burn out that fire after a few hours of passion like has happened in the past. I'm saving my fire for a man of courage and valour and deep love for me and decency towards me. Why not? Like the soldering, it could happen organically and naturally and beautifully, or it may never happen. One can never tell, babies. I just need to remember that there is no fail, only try and try again, fail better. Although in love relationships, trying and trying again when you're not really wanted is called stalking. Fail better. Know when to walk away, know when to run. Oh, you have to laugh. But anyway, I'm not really stalking anyone. I'm just dancing my dance and living my best life. And not rattling any chains, trying very hard not to create any disturbances in the field given the man I'm interested in is unavailable, and frankly, he might not have any real interest in me either. He might just be, just being a friend and just encouraging me along as real friends do. There's nothing wrong with that, by the way, to my true friends. 21st of July 2020. I posted this. It's written by, I haven't bought his books yet, but I was reading his stuff on Facebook often. It's written by Jeff Brown, and the art is by Andreas Kovalinas, but I didn't share the art for some reason. But anyway, I'll read it to you because I thought it was quite lovely back in 2020, which was the early phase of our COVIDian epoch. You know how I feel about that one, so we won't go there again. Here he writes, "Not everyone will heal in this lifetime. It's important that we accept and understand this. The perpetual emphasis on acknowledging and healing trauma is a beautiful thing, but it's not for everyone. Because some of us don't have the capacity to heal. Some can't even get out of bed. Been there, done that, got the t-shirt. Because of the weight of their pain and the complexity of their trauma. Too much has happened and there is no possibility of transformation. This is very hard to accept in our toxic positivity culture, one where trauma is the new buzzword and where people forget that they are not walking in someone else's shoes. Indeed. Just because you were able to heal parts of your past doesn't mean everyone can heal parts of theirs. We have all lived in a trauma-inducing culture, indeed we have. Some of us didn't make it through in one piece. That's a fact. Totally concur with that. And if we can just accept this and honour and comfort them as they are without any effort to heal them, we actually stand a chance of co-creating the kind of trauma-sensitive world that avoids this level of suffering altogether, because trauma is perpetuated by insensitivity. Our tendency to turn a blind eye to the truth of people's suffering, to shame them for not healing, to blame it on their karma and their choices, is precisely the dissociative consciousness that perpetuates the trauma cycle. You want to help, but you just make it worse. Better to accept people right where they are. Better to provide comfort to the fallen ones. That alone will heal the world. And I replied, love me, or at least accept me where I am. Too often down the rabbit hole, as I have not been able to break the chains of my trauma after decades of cumulative abuse. I'm sick of the victim blaming, gaslighting, shaming, marginalisation, isolation, and the limiting or delegitimizing of my few talents and abundant light caused by others' fear, envy, or spite. Love me where I am, or let me find my own way in peace. It is that simple and that difficult. My cousin Heather Skeen wrote, well written. I assume she's replying to Jeff Brown's piece of prose, not my response, but it's heartfelt and I mean it. Love me as I am, love me where I am, love me wherever it is that I end up in this life, but love without envy, spite, and judgment and sadomasochistic, perverted cruelties. I'm done with all of that. I have no interest in people who have an agenda and are vicious or capricious or cruel. Love me authentically, joyously, wholeheartedly, or slough the fuck off. Go be awesome somewhere else. There's room for everyone in this cosmos. All parts of dark and light belong, but don't come and be demonic imps around me. If you've got no interest in standing beside me with pride and honour and dignity and integrity, and you just think you're just going to play me for some kind of idiot, you're wasting your time, my time, and everyone else's time. You're wasting your energy on something that could be put to making something much more productive and powerful, like perhaps your own art or music or your favourite pastime. Don't play games with other people's emotions. And certainly don't violate their body, mind and spirit as well. It's not cool when you do that. Mama T has spoken. Life is short. getting more and more shorter than ever before, given what we've all been put through in the last 4 years. So life is short and eminently precious. So spend time with those who genuinely see you and honour you and love you. Don't waste your time on idiots. Don't waste your time being with people who don't love you in healthy, constructive, soul-nourishing ways. It's hard to be alone. It's not an easy path, but it's preferable than surrounding yourself with fake people, false, blackened hearts that never, ever, really ever have your back or your sides or your front. Just put on this grand fucking show for everyone that's superficial and illusionary and delusionary and razzle-dazzle fool's gold. I'm looking for real gold, real, not physical gold, although one day that might be nice, but in my love relationships that I'm hoping to achieve one day, I'm looking for a real golden man with a real golden heart and soul and mind and body who can join with me and be my man, and I in return be his woman, and have a wonderful life together. It's what I'm wanting out of life. It's kind of ironic since I go dancing each weekend and I arrive alone and I dance wildly and I surf the kind of turgid types that want to come and start fights with me or aggravate me in some way. There was a trio that turned up on Friday night again. The woman of the group, young attractive woman, kept screaming out, "Everyone loves Tanya," and kind of mocking and deriding me. So I just laughed, said, "Yes, everyone does love me indeed." Anyway, her brother said, "I'm sorry about my sister's behaviour. They've done it before. I remember them. They've done it before. But I just rise above it. I'm not responsible for other people's mother hydra babies infesting their brains. And I begged you all not to participate in that program. I begged you on the internet, in my own family, amongst my own family and friends. So don't come and bring your little parasites to me and start your shit with me. Because I warned you, don't participate in it. And, or people that come that are macked out off their head on some kind of drug, which I think that young woman was completely gone. She was on some loop repeating over and over again, "Everyone loves Tanya, everyone loves Tanya." In the end, I just moved away from her. I thought this woman's psychotic. Anyway, her brother apologised to me. But as I was leaving the club Friday night, they were outside and the brother called out Tina. He mispronounced my name. I just let it pass because I don't particularly want to be too friendly with those three, given how psychotic the sister was. I just kept walking, and then I heard the brother yell out to the other male that was in their group, "Don't follow her, don't go after her, leave her alone." So there was two out of three in that group that were quite fucking malevolent towards me. And yet that young man, the brother, was being quite sweet and protective. It was a bit odd. I wasn't sure if they were really fucking dangerous, playing good cop, bad cop, or what their deal was. But I just kept calmly walking. Just kept on walking. Not interested in demonic imps and hell-ridden fucking infestations. I'm really not. But it is dangerous going out alone and not having a man for protection, and then coming home alone again at the end of the night is sometimes probably even more dangerous, given everyone's in various stages of inebriation, or in my case exhaustion after dancing for hours. So I'm kind of highly vigilant and activated. Anyway, it just struck me as a bit freaking odd, those three. Very attractive looking kids they are too. Had English accents, blonde, very, yeah, look kind of like my kind of broad features and cheekbones. Very attractive, but that sister, that girl, said her name was Poppy. She said, "Don't tell her my name." Oh, she was hostile. And then they moved and danced in front of the band, and she was still leering at me, making really ugly, distorted, ugly faces. I just stared like this. I myself was still dancing, but I just quietly stared at her for about 3 or 4 minutes, watching her face, constantly twisting and pulling into something really not quite fucking human. And I thought to myself, you poor bitch, you're hell-ridden by something really fucking evil and you want to bring it to Mama T? Just fucking don't. Anyway, once I had that like little bit of gnosis and realisation, I just detached, and they didn't come near me again they didn't come near me again at all, really. I just happened to walk past them as I was leaving the club. So, odd. But I choose to go out into the night, into these spaces by my own free will. So I have to choose actively to surf whatever ugliness or evil presents itself to me too. And I'm going to have to, because this has been the past 6 weeks of this now, including getting into that massive fight last weekend. I'm going to have to up my spiritual protection and or take a break from dancing for a month or two. Just completely detach and avoid, which I don't want to do because I enjoy my going dancing. I dance for me, for my purposes, to heal my body, mind and spirit. But yeah, I'm thinking the time might be here now that I just step back for a little while. I didn't get into any fights or real conflict situations because I just kept avoiding it, but it's kind of escalating out in the world, planet Earth. It's escalating quite astonishingly, so I'm very conscious of that. But yes, here I write, it was a memory from 2016. I wrote, "This week I decided I will start a business." Oh dear goddess, psychedelic dreamer. "I don't work well with others and lack skills for most jobs, but I think I will try to save up enough capital to rent a small shop and sell witchy alternative stuff, read cards, make staffs and wands, spell kits, and just be my usual quirky, fabulous self. It will be a hobby, but you never know, I might be successful at it. Now I just need to focus on the house and the initial capital investment. Baby steps." My friend Laura Martin said, "You should open an Etsy shop. It's much cheaper than renting a brick and mortar shop." And I replied, "I can't sell anything online. No luck. It's just a dream. one of many in my ridiculous existence. And I didn't actually start working towards that dream until early January 2021, when I started the silversmithing journey, because I literally put prayers out and asked. I asked the multiverse. I said, we're in the midst of this COVID epoch and it's deepening and the economy is worsening and I'm alone. I don't have a man to support me. I don't have any other sources of money coming in. The pension's barely covering food and electricity bills and my rent, and I'm struggling and I can't continue like this. Like my grandmother who went to that headspace in 1949, I simply said, if I can't continue to exist in this world safely and with enough resources to pay for my basic food and bills and rent, then there's only one alternative, and that is I'll have to die. I said, so you have to help me, angels. I don't know what to do. I don't know how else to exist in this world alone and unprotected and uncared for, by the way. And in a miraculous way, they brought me to this second-hand shop down near the crossroads at Coorparoo, and started me on this journey, this making jewellery, by encouraging me. The staff member practically coerced me into it, to buy these antique gold cufflinks that I eventually melted down. But those cufflinks were the beginning of me thinking, oh, well, maybe I might have some aptitude and some skills I can learn, and I'll just have to be open to learning new skills and give it a try. And I really enjoyed it, but unfortunately I've only sold maybe 1 or 2 pieces in the last 3 years, so 3.5 years now. So I haven't been successful in it. But it doesn't matter, because I've been learning and teaching myself and training in it. So maybe one day when life balances out again and the economy improves and life starts being a bit saner again and less hell-ridden and demonic, maybe by then I'll have enough marketable skills in the jewellery making and the silversmithing to actually turn it into a proper business and thrive. That's the dream, people. That's the dream. But I'm not upset that it hasn't happened per se, because the timing, and as usual in my life, is way, way, way off. So as I said, just moving through life each day with equanimity and peace generated from within, even if I have to fight my way out of situations sometimes, and just continuously, at the moment getting my health back to some kind of homeostasis and equilibrium. And then Mama T might begin to fly at long last. Fly high, fly far, fly valiantly and victoriously. It's interesting, I was showing that big V in the dream. I can't do it. The big V in the dream the other day. I'm still kind of processing all of those messaging. V for victory, am I right? Well, there's only one way to be victorious. That is to hold your head up high in the face of great evil, great malevolence, great societal malfunctions, and just keep forging ahead with your life, no matter what, no matter who, no matter how, no matter when, no matter where. Never ever giving up on myself, which is why I was bounced straight back out like a pinball wizard dancing on a Friday night, not giving up on my dance space that I enjoy. And I was indeed hoping to apologise profusely to Adrian, but he wasn't there. So, and I get it. He's probably deeply fucking humiliated by my actions, and as I said, that wasn't cool. It wasn't cool, but he just simply, he got in the way between me protecting my own self and defending myself and my sense of self-preservation and honour and integrity. So, and probably with the best intentions in the world, by the way. Anyway, Mama T will have to continuously ride through, cycle through that until that settles back down. And anyway, I am loved and I am respected and I am cared for, so I am grateful, by the way. 21st of July 2019. I went to a drumming circle at West End this afternoon and evening. That was just under a month after that terrible surgery I'd had. Very pleasant way to pass the time. The river was beautiful. Now at Jackpot Dining having my favourite meal. They've closed down now. I'm annoyed about that. Then home to my Beauregard, who will be glad to see me, smiley face. 21st of July 2018. Good morning. Another egg from Black Betty this morning. It seems yesterday's egg was no fluke and she is definitely laying now. So happy. It took her a while to settle in, I suppose. Her eggs are perfect and almost pink in colour, unlike my rescue hen Becky, who rarely lays now, and when she does, the shell is malformed and very thin. Tired old girl. But she lives here in freedom and happiness, which is all anyone can want after a life of abuse and neglect. Sacred space, home to the broken and rejected, but ever blossoming new lives for all, especially the Tanya. Thank you, Hashem, that means God. Why do you climb up on my laptop, specifically to poopykins all over it, Charlie? You like to shit from a greater height. Oh my goodness, that's really, really bad. Really, really bad. And then she stares at me like it's my fault. Maybe it is. Is it the food I'm giving you, Charlie? Yes. Well, that was a load off your mind, wasn't it, Charlie? Dear goddess. Right, where are we? Where are we, Charlie? We've flippity-gibbeted the thing. The thing. We've lost the thing. All right, here we go. Thank you, Hashem, which means God, for surrounding me. It literally means the name. For surrounding me with great beauty, great loves, all platonic, generosity, joy and healing. Thank you for the music and a body still capable of dancing, for my mind which is still resonant with some sort of deep consciousness, even if I check out of it occasionally, and for life itself which never ceases to amaze me and, more often than not, bless me. Thank you to Julie, who literally saved me 3 years ago, and to all my adorable friends that nurtured me in my darkest times and have watched me swirl up and down on my personal holy grail in my, psychedelic dream. Thank you to all the great spirits who see me and love me anyway, in all my fecund fury and glorious rehabilitation from the edge of the abyss. I am alive and present in this moment because of you all. I love you. I was screaming out to Juddy on Friday night that I love him, but he knows why. It's not romantic, people. It's powerful, powerful, big agape love for you, Juddy. You know why. Last night's trance dance was designed to facilitate soul retrieval. Yesterday was a beautiful day, very spiritual with even an altered state in more ways than one, darlings. I'm grateful for the reconfiguring, which I hope and pray will help bring me to the best possible reality, yes, hello, that I can manifest in this life. I'm learning to trust in Great Spirit or Creator or the Holy One, that my deepest yearnings have been recognised and that I'm being blessed in so many ways, even though I have not yet seen the outcome. I can feel it in the love and unexpected beautiful fellowship of my soulkin and beloveds. You have honoured me and upheld me, loved me and protected me, and I have also kept faith in my soul's quest. It's a long road, this highway to hell and back to paradise, but so humbling and yet edifying, flying in the face of reason and audacious trickster frippery, but always laughing last and best and loudest. That used to drive my mother nuts, my laughter. Always be suspicious of people that tell you you have an ugly laugh, or you laugh like a hyena, or they hate your laugh. They're not your friend or worthy of being your mother or lover, or however they present themselves to you in this incarnation. I had 3 lovers, sexual partners, tell me that they hated my laugh. One was that last entity that haunted me at the crossroads. One was David Davidson. One was my mother. There were a few others over the years. And each time they did that, I do have a weird laugh, I admit. My laugh is very loud and very cackly and witchy indeed. But it's natural, it's not forced, it's just how I laugh. And people who mock and deride me for my laugh, the second they do that, I'm like, right now I know you are my enemy, and you shall ever remain my enemy, by the way. I might play nice to you and be civil and, go along nicely with you for a while. But as soon as you show me your true colours, mocking and deriding my laughter, I know you do not have anything good to offer me in any meaningful way, mentally, physically, spiritually. That's how I know. It's usually one of the first red flags that comes out early in a friendship or love affair or partnership, when they start mocking and deriding my laughter and or my vagina, by the way. Nasty, nasty, crass, low-level entity behaviour. Freedom to the crone. Pity that I have had to embody my own declension on the pathway to ascension, but hey, it happens to us all. The getting of wisdom. Do it over the schmutter there, Charlie. Oh, so now she's hanging her ass the other way. Are you done? Did you do it? I think she did it. I'll get that later. Get that for me later, Deirdre. No, I won't. I'll reach out with my foot and I'll clean it that way. Oh my goodness, Charlie. Far out. Right, where was I? Soul retrieval. Yeah. I remember many years ago giving myself permission to scream a keening, banshee, berserker shriek for several hours until I passed out from exhaustion. Also, the soul retrieval when I visited my childhood home in January 2005. It was actually, I went home in December, late December 2004. I was home for 3 weeks. But I didn't go and see my childhood home, the house I grew up in. I stood outside it on the beach actually until January 2005, and man, that was a powerful soul retrieval. I wept and wept and wept, but it was like a really powerful catharsis. Then gaining bits and pieces back on the dance floors of vicious, viscous, grotty pubs and the casino, full of predators and their sycophants, leaping and twirling my body in triumphant capitulation to the primitive realization that Mama T was not a zombie anymore, but an indomitable, fierce, berserker, warrior goddess with big sore hobbit feet and attitude. Like any wild woman in dark places, I found my vibe and my tribe. Just awesome, humbled and grateful, wild and carefree, but greatly loved am I. I wrote that back in what year was that? 2018, and here we are 6 years later. What she said, still doing it, babies, still living my very best life as much as is possible given my circumstances. 21st of July 2017, I posted a photo of me drying like a real witch, drying my lavender blooms. Yes, indeed. Lavender harvest. They were pretty flowers, those. I think that particular bush has died, but they were very pretty blooms. This is happiness. A very busy bottom, head down, ass up, in the, I think it's in the kumquat blooms or in the citrus and the lime tree blooms. Looks like a lime flower. Head down, ass up, strutting her stuff. That is happiness for bees and for women. Maybe not so much ass up, but you feel my vibe. Another gorgeous morning. Thank you, Lynn, for the lovely bird cage. Charlie seems quite content. It was nice not having to carry his other cage out in the morning sun. It will save me a lot of pain. Hugs. Because I used to bring a bigger cage in her room, carry it out each day. So Lynn gave me another cage. There's 2 cages outside now, which stay permanently outside now, so I just move her in and out according to my want. You're looking a bit snoozy, Charlie. Are you okay? You've had a very busy bottom. Maybe you're just exhausted from all of that. All fluffed up. Are you cold? You cold, my little baby? Oh dear goddess. 21st of July 2016. I woke up happy for no good reason, which is the best kind of happiness. hauled out of my bed, had a major asthmatic coughing fit, but took my Ventolin. Then ate my key lime pie, 2 big pieces, with a cup of tea for breakfast. I'm going to sit in the sun and try to heal my stubborn, recalcitrant chest. In honor of the eerily warm winter's day, I made recycled paper, now exhausted, but it was nice to be doing something creative. And here it is. It's a lot of work making recycled paper. That's why they charge so much for it in the shops. It's quite intensive work. This week I decided I will start a business. Oh yeah, I've already read that earlier in my memories. My friend Tarina wrote, start online with readings and establish your base of customers. I said, no, I hate online readings. It will be face-to-face by appointment. I never ended up doing that. I just don't feel ready yet. Although I do hear spirit on occasion, it's not often enough for me to be able to give, really good, genuine, authentic readings and know that the information I'm getting is accurate and can be validated. I can't stand charlatans or people that give shitty readings to people. I think it's actually kind of evil. And the reason why I think that is my mother used to do that. Say the most dreadful things to her clients that were completely racist or homophobic or just fucking awful. And I'd be so embarrassed. I'd want to run after the person and say, don't believe a word she just said. You shouldn't have even paid her. It's just abhorrent. But, she'd tell me what she'd read to these people, gloating about it even. And I'd think, who the fuck are you? Like, what are you? My own mother. It was really evil. So I haven't been willing to give readings because it worries me that, something dark might jump in and take advantage of me while I'm giving readings and I become that person, am I right? So no, I'm not doing it. But here I continue writing. I will make it part gift shop, bookshop, healing centre, whatever gets people in and keeps them coming back, lol. Tarina wrote, I was just thinking until you got the shop up and running, you could establish an online presence to start to build up customers. And I wrote, I mainly want to just sell cool, eclectic stuff, which is kind of interesting that the shop I want to put my jewellery into is a witchy shop that sells cool, eclectic stuff. So I figure, my jewellery might sell there, and if it doesn't, I'll have given it a try. Readings might not even be part of the shop. I usually just use throwaway one-liners anyway. Tarina wrote, you can sell online too. I've bought heaps of stuff online. Happy to buy them from you. Kiss, kiss. Yeah, I started a Shopify account. Need to put my mother's collection up there and see if any of it sells. If it does, I'll put that money towards a physical shop. And she wrote, oh, okay, keep me informed. Well, it still hasn't manifested, babe, because I don't have the capital. I'm a pensioner, dreaming in my psychedelic, sacred space, going nowhere, dancing as fast as I can, hoping to find a truly loving partner, still dreaming. Wake up, number 37. It's not my fault that circumstances have not manifested in my favour yet. I'm working towards it, but you have to also factor in other people have free will and, you can't force people to buy your stuff. You can't force anyone to love you. So I'm still kind of blocked at every turn. Sad but true. That was a photo of my dog, by the way. He loves snuggling with Demama late at night. Yes, he does. Then I posted an article, "What's wrong with choosing contentment over happiness?" And I replied, "Feeling all the feels and or emotions brings its own rewards. Being authentic, living free of judgment of oneself and or others, being fully awake and alive, incredible empowerment, even if only a tiny step forward at first." 11:55 p.m. Lila Tov, good night, sleepy time. 21st of July 2015. Dancing 12 hours at the casino is too much for me. Sunday, suspended animation, slept for 18 hours. Monday night, bowel impaction, but there is an established pattern I must tell my gastroenterologist about. This evening, nausea and vomiting, not as bad as last week, but still, it takes me 4 to 5 days to recover from over-exercising my body on the weekend. Yesterday, that weird lurgy came back, so the hot toddies might have brought on the vomiting, i.e. driving the infection out. Needless to say, I'm physically a wreck, but my body is toned, trimmer, and terrific. I might have to just get old gracefully and cut back on the dancing. One extreme or the other, feast or famine, foul weather or fine, depressed or sublime, I am still the happiest I have been in many decades, even with the medical issues. I promised myself and begged God to let me have fun before I die, and I have had some wonderful, memorable nights out. Highlights were being thrown in the air by 4 New Zealand naval sailors while my silk skirt billowed like a parachute. Chair fighting like a real Viking warrior, a pesky, determined drunk man who persisted in harassing my friends and then myself when I told him to back off. I almost had him pinned too. Lifting a tiny man up on my shoulders like an acrobat on my 7-inch high-heeled boots. To be fair, I was actually a bit tipsy that time, which is rare, as some Aryan giant fascist, who was a giant too, very tall, was humiliating the guy by rubbing his head. I saw this from across the busy pub dance floor, so I shouldered my way through the crowd, said to the guy, my friend, my very petite friend, "Stand still, don't move," and hoisted him up over the Aryan's head and said, "Rub his fucking ugly bald head now." The sweet, gentle, short guy was so stunned he didn't know what to do. So I was extra strong, as I was livid and a bit drunk, and he is tiny, the size of a 13-year-old boy, but a lovely, gentle soul. So I shifted his weight on one shoulder and rubbed the fascist bastard's head with my right hand. It's a bit astonishing, people. Then, satisfied and not totally conscious that I might have embarrassed everyone concerned, I said, "There, bully, see how you fucking like it." Especially coming from a woman, am I right? Much later, I spoke to the sweet tiny man who, after several years, is rather fond of me. I said, "I don't know what came over me. I didn't even think. I just reacted. I have CPTSD and I hate Hate, hate bullies. Then I burst into tears. He smiled, shook my hand, gave me a hug. He forgave me. What a hero, putting up with crazy wild women. He still likes to go to that shit-stained pub though, even though I don't believe he is safe there. Like me, he likes to fly in the face of danger, I guess, the other sign of a traumatized person. We will go to the edge of the known world and jump fearlessly, even though there be dragons there. We just learn to fly on the backs of dragons, or be raised up by angelic protectors, or as my Maori can do, excuse me, we leap from Three Kings Island to land in another dimension on the ancestral lands of Hawaiki. We go home, the Vikings to Valhalla, the Greeks and Romans to Hades, crossing the river Styx, and the Christians, Jews and Muslims to heaven and life eternal. Constantly being recycled on the Gilgulim. The Gilgulim are the wheels of reincarnation, constant turning. Here I write, the ever-turning wheel of life, death, life, of reincarnation. What appears in the tarot as the wheel of fortune, destiny, fate, and or karma. But I digress. Other highlights were Nikki launching herself full tilt into my arms when again I was wearing those extraordinarily high-heeled boots. She is tiny, but I am a short, fat little hobbit woman, so somehow I managed to keep hold of her without both of us falling to the floor and me possibly busting my ankle laughing my ass off. Sitting outside for hours on warm summer nights with my homeless friends, laughing and talking and keeping it real. I miss Katrina, actually. Also dancing for hours until the break of dawn with George, my busker friend, although he put a stop to that last year, or I would still be dancing along with him. 2:54 p.m. Just woke up with another barking bronchitis. Vacuuming the car and cold damp air finished me off. It doesn't take much. I felt so ill last night that I had a long soak in a steamy hot Epsom salt bath. I went to bed around 4 a.m. Time to get up and greet the remains of the day. My friend Louise Winton in Manchester wrote, "Feel better, for goodness sake take care of yourself. You've had such a hard time lately. Kiss, kiss, kiss." And I wrote back, "Thanks, Louise," like a Viking warrior princess. Nice little fantasy. I've been out washing my filthy car. Mission accomplished, but will now have to take things easy tonight as sunset is falling and the winter chill is settling in for the night. Here I continue writing. Yesterday, Arvo, I finally, after almost 3 years, cleaned the interior of my car. It took me 4 hours to vacuum every scrap of straw left behind by Ramon and Suki and all the other crud that accumulates in 3 years. I am so proud of my achievement. Much later today, I plan on washing the exterior, which is filthy. I came inside by 6 p.m. to discover Lynn had been calling me to invite me to dinner. My little angel had also gone to the food bank and brought me heaps of fruit and veggies and bread. She is always looking after me. Love her heaps, and I'm grateful and happy to have such beautiful friends. We had carbonara pasta and sizzler toast, which was delicious. Then we sat outside wrapped up in blankets and talked. I came home around midnight to discover that the crazy Romanian's old dog Jack was in my yard. I had left my front gates open, not expecting midnight canine visitors. I freaked out as little Helga and Heidi were not in the coop, so I thought he had eaten them. I yelled at him, but he is completely blind, so I hoped they might still be alive. I made him follow my voice, yelling about his naughty father, put him inside his own gate. He barked a thanks. Socks had followed us across the road, so I called him home, then shut the gates and went on a search in the fricking dark for Helga and Heidi, fully expecting carnage somewhere. The silly buggers had gone to sleep behind the rosemary bush, so I scooped them up into my arms, telling them they were lucky to be alive and better learn to go into the coop at night with the other chickens. Like me, they are creatures of habit and keep trying to sleep near the spot I originally housed them in, near the house. I had forgotten to make sure they were in their coop when I went to Lynn's. So I was extremely happy and relieved to find my two stupid fluff bums huddled together, snoozing. Old Jack must not have a sense of smell any more. He is a huge, fat cattle dog. If he could see and smell, my girls would have been feasted upon. Raging fever, sweating, combined with an epic chocolate craving. Fuck my life. There is always Macca's, but that would involve going out in the night cold. Sigh, sighs. Feeling relieved, I've managed to pay off my electricity and gas bill, which always stresses me out. Paid back 2 friends. Thanks, guys. Paid Optus. Now just waiting on the missing $150 from Coles Express fraudsters. Then I will float along for another 2 weeks. Living the psychedelic dreamer's dream on a wish and a prayer, and grateful to my friends who helped me out in hard times. You rock. It feels good to be debt-free for another 2 weeks until the next bill arrives. I've been financially floating on flotsam and jetsam for so long that I am a worn-out, crusty old salt. I've taken a Panadol for my epic fever, gold fever. No, that was gold finger, the fickle finger of fate. Dreamer is up on her floating garbage pile of a life, surfing. Hopefully I don't end up shark bait for a while. That shit was nasty. Mushu and Sophie tried to climb on my belly and sit in the bath with me. Weirdos. I just had a lovely face chat to Crystal. She was in the UK at that time. She sent me photos from her day in London. We'll download later as they won't download on my iPhone. She won a lottery ticket to see the Book of Mormon. She saw the National Gallery, lots of Renoir, Van Gogh and Matisse. She took a selfie next to a painting of her icon, William Shakespeare. She still wants to spend a day at the Globe and has to go to Manchester soon. She is happy as a pig in mud, but she had a bit of a cough too. I had to go to bed as I have a temperature with chills. Bloody hell. So lots of rest until next weekend. I wondered why my foot was so sore last night. I don't remember being stomped on at the casino. I must have wrenched a muscle. And here you have it, this massive bruise on my foot. Oh, poor Mama T. It That's what happens when you jump around in very high boots. You rip muscles. But somebody possibly did stomp on me. They were always stomping on me every opportunity they could, the arseholes. That's why I constantly whirling dervish and spin around so much. I'm avoiding being stomped on. 21st of July 2000, it's true, 2014. Wide awake Facebooking with my cat Penny purring uproariously next to me. Kookaburras laughing in the distant dawn. I guess I will fall asleep at the hairdresser again. Might try to get a few more hours kip. Constant craving. Hallelujah. Highs and lows of being in love and alone as usual. Mondayitis. I want to run amok. Hold me back, babies. Lynn drove over to me this morning to bring me bread. It was nice to see her smiling face. My mood has plummeted, no doubt due to not sleeping well last night. I have some back pain, probably a pinched muscle from all the wild dancing. It's a beautiful day, and in a few hours I'll be getting my hair done. That always makes me feel prettier. I hope I don't fall asleep in her chair like I did the last 2 times, laughing out loud. That's how exhausted I am after dancing, by the way. I usually go to her on a Tuesday, so only a few days after dancing I'll just be passing out. Watched True Blood, awesome. Now watching season 2 of Masters of Sex, equally awesome. 21st of July 2013. So I was feeling slightly indulgent and I added a name I don't know, which I rarely do due to interesting pics of what seemed an interesting looking man claiming to be both a captain and a sailor, which was red flag number 1, as any salt worth their salt knows that a captain may be a sailor par excellence, but very few sailors make the rank of captain. So the convo continued briefly until red flag number 2, when he asked me, "How is your kids?" No educated, English-speaking person worth their salt would make such a grammatical error. He then asked me if I were married. I corrected his poor English, told him he sounded like a Ghanaian or Nigerian scammer, and who was the real man, and how did they steal his identity? No friends. Oh, so friends. If a Stephen King's, red flag number 3, contacts you, forget that he claims to be in Darlinghurst, New South Wales, or the nice photos of quite a respectable seeming fellow, or the captain of a vessel. He failed to respond to my query. So if he uses my friends list to contact any of you, be alert and aware. So much for breaking my number 1 rule of adding someone I don't know or have never met. So irritated right now. I really hate my time being wasted on idiots, but I also love how I flushed them out pretty quickly in the piece. Like, yay me. 21st of July 2010. I spent the day pottering in the garden but didn't achieve much. My energies were too scattered. I did manage to tie up my jasmine vine and fix the chair it's growing on. I also tried to waterproof my outside loo, which acts as a flower pot as it fills up with water when it rains. Not much success there, lol. Jared and I and our dogs had a lovely walk at a park, and I gathered a taro tuber for my fish pond. My Auntie Sylvia Shine wrote, "Hi Tanya, hope the taro tuber won't eat you up. The deaf thing, bloody awful. Deaf as a doorpost at the moment. Hope the wax softens. Going to the quack tomorrow to have it syringed. They have to make sure it's soft. It can do damage. If not, keeping fingers crossed, legs as well. This is a lady in her 80s, mind you. Keep well, love, hugs and kisses. And I received 8 kisses. I wrote back, I wish you well for tomorrow, Sylvia. I had that done once, eons ago. It wasn't painful, just kind of gross and uncomfortable. You'll feel great when it's over. Promise. Kisses to you. Oh, the other thing I've noticed since being on CPAP, it's only been 17 days, so it might just be, just luck. But I've had less that horrible feeling in my eustachian tubes in my ears of like oil kind of sliding in and out, which was a horrible feeling. That seems to have stopped for now, hopefully forever. It was a horrible, horrible feeling. So it must have been another kind of weird effect of the sleep apnea as well. I'm hoping it's gone permanently though, because it's terrible. I would sometimes get some kind of seepage as well in just the outside of my ear. So yeah, I'm glad that's gone. That was really icky. So maybe with the mask forcing air and up into my nose and down the back of my sinus cavity or whatever anomaly that shuts off my breathing, it's had a positive effect on that as well. So good news all round about the CPAP. I just hate looking like the Bride of Frankenstein every night, but it is what it is. And hopefully in time I'll keep getting better and better and have more energy and better and can invite a loving man into my life, although very likely, given that I have to be hooked up to that machine every night. If we did commit to being together, we'd have to have separate bedrooms, which I'm kind of okay with anyway, because I'm not accustomed to sleeping next to anyone after 29 and a half years of living alone. So there is that. It would have been pretty awkward and crazy even without the CPAP mask, since I'm not used to it. But anyway, I'm hopeful that, in the future, all these things will fall into place. True love, better health, better prosperity. Because I have better health, I can achieve more things. Maybe actually start my little business for real one day. Who knows? Anyway, on that note, have a beautiful day wherever you are in the space-time continuum. Remember to live your very best life, no matter how difficult or how much suffering you're going through in this moment. Believe in your ability to heal and become a newer, better, more powerful, more vibrant, more spectacular version of yourself, no matter how old you are or where you are in your current moment here on planet Earth, in this in the space-time continuum. Some of you younger ones have many decades ahead of you to constantly grow and bloom and grow and bloom. And some of us older ones don't have that much time ahead, but we have something else. We have the power gifted to us by decades of life experiences, and we too are in a constant state of emanation and growing old beautifully and gracefully with great love in our hearts and great spiritual mana gifted to us by the gods. So there is that. So on that note, Goddess bless, Gods bless, the Holy One and all manifestations bless, and be happy today. And by the way, Mama T of Sacred Space at Titania's Realm loves you.